on what we learned last week. Last week, I think we learned about all these elements, about HTML, the header tags, the body tags. We did H1 tags, and we also learned the section tags, the section elements. We did the paragraphs, we did the divs, and here, if you can look at, you can see the style tag. This is inline style tag. So today we will separate all these inlines to a separate document. And guys, if I'm going fast, let me know, and let me know if you guys hear me clearly. So we learn about the aside tag, we learn about the article element, we learn about the UL, the list, ordered list, and unordered list. Then with the HR tag, we did a little bit about the table, we did the caption, we did about it. We also did the address. Did a little bit about the B tag, image tag, and the footer. So for 2 weeks, we have learned the main, I would say a lot, 80% of HTML. Doing HTML, these are the tags that you'll be using regularly. There are a lot of tags that maybe in your lifetime you never even touch it. For this are like the 85% of tags that regularly on websites we use it every day. These ones you can memorize it, and just like that, then you'll be using just like that. In a second, you can just write it on you can just write a on your text editor. So on the first day, I think we also did on the first day we did all these and we went to the index second. So today we are gonna do the style sheet. So the style sheet, we use a tag or the link. So for this course is for beginners, so everything that we do here, we take our time so you can see it very well. So LINK, then the shortcut is this, but as I have already shown you, using the same text editor I'm using, I use some shortcuts. So I type, let me go back. I type LINK, then I hit the tab. Then it will complete for me. But so the LIN, then there is this REL, the attribute names and relationship of the link document to the current document. So the attribute is given as a style sheet. href is where the URL, where you want to link to. So which document? This document, we don't have it yet. We have to create it. So this href is where you want to link this document to. So where the style sheet will be, where are we going to put the style sheet? The best is, let's say we create another folder here, this one, new folder. You call it CSS. Then you create a file. This is the shortcut for the file. Creating a file, new file, or you can even use new file here. So new file. So you can name it anything that you want, but the best, I mean, some of the accepted naming conventions are, you can name it stylesheet.css, but you can name it as you want. Maybe you can have a lot of style sheets in your project. So maybe this is the first home page. You can name it home.css. So this one we will name it stylesheet.css. Pay attention to the file type. It's .css. .css. If you look at the HTML that we were doing, it was .html. This we are naming it .css. So where is the file? Yeah, so let's create a file again. I think I didn't save it. Style sheet.css. Then you hit enter. Then this is your style sheet. And guys, if you are not, this is your first time following, all these, the former, the first episodes that we did, the files are linked here. Let me show you where the file is so you can download it, then you can follow along. The files are saved in a Google Drive that you can download the files, the 2 episodes that we did. Download it and you will follow along with us. And also, at the end of each episode, we upload the file to this folder on Google Drive. Then we also upload it to YouTube. So this is where the file is. I'll post the file on the comments so you can download it. So it's there. The file is in a. If you click on the link, it will take you to where you can see the file, so you can download it. So let's continue. So now that we have the CSS file, now we can go back to our HTML. Then you put the name, how you named the file. So remember, it's stylesheet.css. So first, you have to link it where the folder first. But how will you know the folder? So let's try style.sheet.css, style sheet. So we link it there. Let's try and see if it's linked. Will it affect the page? So we go. So let's try something with the body of the HTML. So the HTML, everything, these ones are called elements, all these ones. For you to target anything here, you can use selectors. So the selectors is the classes and IDs. But we'll get to that. But right now, the body, you don't need any selector. The body is the parent of all these elements are inside the body. You see, all these are inside the body. So the body, you don't need any selector. You don't need to give it any classes or IDs. So the body, you can write a body here. So this is how you do CSS. You see here it's giving me that yellow thing. Don't mind it because I haven't put anything in it. So my editor is telling me. So let's try the background color. Let's choose any color, brown. So let me explain. For HTML, the syntax is using this less than and greater than and putting your text inside it. What you want to put, the properties, everything is inside the HTML tag here. But when you doing it, it comes to the CSS, pay attention to the style, how we style the page. Background color, body, then you use this sign. You open bracket there. Then you put the property there. So you said background color. The color, you can choose any color you want, but this one is, we want to use the brown color. So when you save it, now let's try and open this document. Remember we installed the server. For you to open this document, you can go to the folder, just double click on it and it will open. But right now we have a server here that we installed, a shortcut for us. So you just click on it, go live, and the web page will open. So when it opens, let's see web. So it opens to us. Look at this is the document. It's open. But you can see that our style sheet didn't have any effect on it. We said make the body brown, but look at it, it's still white. Why? That means our page is not linked very correctly. We have a shortcut just to know if our thing was linked. You can do right click, view the page source, and you see these are the HTML that you see, everything that you typed here. This is it. But when it comes to what people see on the website, it passes and it shows you the text here. But you can look at the real code that we typed. This is it. So you see the link here, the style sheet, the href. This is the link. So let's click on that and see if the file was linked to it. It said cannot get style sheet. That means it doesn't know where this was saved. it couldn't link to it. So that means there was an error. We made a mistake. Now back to remember we put the style sheet just in the folders. You have to be careful how you place all your documents. And HTML, I mean the file, you are telling the file that it should look just where this HTML, the index.second HTML, look at the file structure here. It should just look for the style sheet at the root where this is. But if we take a careful look, our file is not there where the index second HTML is. It's inside a folder. So we have to go another step to that folder. So to do that, we use the /. So look at it. If I type the /, even this text editor gave me a shortcut telling me where everything is. So you see where the CSS is. This is the CSS folder. These are all the other folders. So when we click the CSS folder, then it will show you every file that's in the CSS folder. So we only have one folder there, one document there called stylesheet.css. So let's click on it. So now save it. Command S or on Windows is CTRL, Control S. So I'm using Mac. So you click on it. Now let's go test our page if it's working. Voila, look at it. Because we didn't even refresh our page, but look at it, it's just working perfectly. Perfecto. So CSS, now that we have linked our documents, we are targeting the B tag, the body tag. So in CSS, we target selectors. So what is selectors? So those selectors that in HTML that we have on this body, we can give it a class. So CLASS equal to sign, then you put the class name. Man, you just give it a unique name, so you don't want, in case it has to be a unique name, because when you target it, it will affect only where the name is. Main body, okay. Let's see. So this is one of the classes that we use, and one of the selectors, types of selectors. We also have another one called ID. So even the name ID is giving you a unique ID. I mean, as a selector, we can name it a different name. So look at it. These are the classes. It allows us to style the page and also use JavaScript to target the elements on the page. So if we take a look at the ID here is main body again, and the class here is main body. So now let's save it. Let's go here and let's change the let's use the class to target the color on it. So you saw the body, we just wrote the body like that. But when we use classes, we have a way that for it to know that it's a class. If it's a class, we use the point sign, the point. You press the point, then you put the name there. So if you see, let's make a little bit mistake intentionally. I didn't add the Y. You saw I didn't add the Y. So look at the page. The brown is gone. But let's add the Y back. Yeah. So perfectly, this is the main body. So we use the point with the name that you gave on the to the element. You put it back. You type it here. Now let's look at the ID. The ID, you named it main body again, ID. When it comes to the ID, it's different from it's not different, but we don't use the point, we use the sharp here sign. Now let's check this color. Blue. Guys, you see? So dot main body. This, look at it. The element ID is the main body again. Both are targeting the same element here, body. But now let's ask ourselves, if we are targeting both and we are using the colors background, why is it that the blue is overriding the brown? Why is the blue overriding the brown color? So this is where the meaning of CSS comes in play. It's called cascading style sheet. So it's cascaded. In another word, let's say it's falling. So it starts from the top. Anything below will take over. I mean, we'll have the main. Will in the layman's terms, let's say it will be. How will I explain this? We'll have precedence over the other one. So in case, let's try and see if we take this the ID one. Let's put it. Yeah, let me see. Yeah. So, oh yeah, I made a mistake. So the classes, I think, yeah, you guys are there. So the classes is, let's see. Let me look at my references and Yeah, so the index, yeah, so we target it. And now let's try a different CSS. So for us to go, this is how we target everything on the page. So we target elements on the page. So let's try the URL tag and see differences in that. So let's try to target this H1. H1, this is my first HTML. So we give it a class. So usually for styling of the pages, we use the classes tag, and the ID we usually reserve it for JavaScript. So it's best that you can use the ID to style your page, but it's best that you stick to using classes as a, if you are targeting the element to style it, it's best to use the classes selected, not the ID. It's just like that. It's just a convention, but it's not set in stone that you have to use ID, but it's best that you use classes. Now let's target this H1 class. We give it let's give it a name, a unique one. But hello. Always the classes, I'm having a lot of trouble, but you have to stick with a class that correspond to the element. I mean, so this is our first HTML document. First. First. Let's use first. So let's target it. Dot first. Always remember the dot because it's class or else it won't work. Dot first. Font size. Let's use 20 pixels. Yeah, where's the page? Okay, so let's change the color. The color is looking, let's make it white. You can type white here. Yeah. Now, so you see, this is it showing. This is our first HTML. I changed the color. Now it's showing white. Let's change the color again. See, it changes. How about we change how about in case we want to target both the H1 and the H2? In classes, you can use the same name to target a lot of elements with classes, but the IDs, you never do that. IDs, you target only one thing that you want to target. You use a unique ID to target it. So this class, we can use it as first here too. But why I will tell you not to use it to avoid it. So let's say first. We give the same thing as first. Let's look at what will happen if it will affect both of them. Yeah, so this is our first HTML. This is our first HTML. So let's say this is our second. So look, it's affecting both of them. So this is our first HTML. This is our second HTML document. So that's how we use classes. You can target a lot of elements with the same selector. But how about in case we want to target, let's say from this, where is it? The UL. How about if we want to target this, let's take this style, the inline style, let's delete it. How about if we want to target everything inside this? How about if we want to target every element inside this div? How can we target it? So it's simple. You give it a class here. Let's name it test. Let's name it parent. So naming your classes, you can name it what you want, but just name it so it will describe what you mean. So in case I'm working with you, I will be able to know what you means. So parent, let's go to the parent type class, parent. Background color. So let's see the example here is we gave it a background color of yellow, but it's a div. So everything in the div, all these elements inside the div are the children. It's called children. So the div is acting as a parent. So when you you put something on the parent, it will affect all the children. So we can change the color of the div. It will affect the children. Look at it. Yeah. So we can change the color. Let's change the color. Red. Take a look. it affected everything inside the parent is affected. So the parent, so what we are talking about is this one. So the div here is acting as a parent, and every element inside here, the class is affecting it. So how about in case we want to affect, we want the star to have effect on only the P. Only the P. So that on the star sheet, we can give first target it, then add the P tag. Add the P tag after. So in CSS, in the cascading style sheet, CSS, we have parents, children, back and forth. So it's not only one, like here you say, I'm targeting only one. Here you can target the parent and the child. So the child here is P. It's the paragraph tag. But in case we take out the parent from it, the P will affect every P on the page. But we don't want it like that. There's a lot of P's here, paragraph tags here, in different sections of the pages. But right now we only want to affect the parent, the class with the parent name. So it's affecting only the P here. So if we change the color, let's give it a big font to make it stand out. Font size. You can use larger, X small, but let's use maybe 30 pixels, px. $50px. Let's change the color to black. So now, if you look at it, it's here it is. You see the font size is targeting this. All these divs is a div tag. 1, 2, 3 is they're all sharing the same parent. But right now, because we are using the P after the parent, it's affecting only the P. I think, let me do something here. Let me see. Let's have a little bit margin on the left. Oh no, pardon. Yeah, now it's better because our page was at the edge of the left. Now we added a padding left. Okay, so this is how CSS works. You can use children, you can add the parents, the children, a lot. You can do a lot with it. This is boring right now, but I'm just teaching you the foundation, the fundamentals of it. You need to understand what everything is doing. So if we, let me see what we can do here. Do we have only one URL? So the list, another list is here. So with this, we have only one. So you can target UL. So on the page, this is what is happening. We target it as a green. So we're targeting the UL. So if you don't know, the UL and the OL, we use it as a list, unordered list and ordered list. So this, you see the bullet points. When you need a bullet points, we use the unordered list. But when you need to really use 1, 2, 3 or A, B, C, D, we use the ordered list. We'll go deep into it and what we can change some of the style of it. So right now the UL is unique, but in case we have another UL on the page, let's say we have another UL here. Because we chose to use the UL, it will affect every UL on the page. So it's better that you always use class. That's why we are using the class. You always target the class and the ID to target a specific element that you want, because you don't want to target both of this as green. You need to have the freedom to target only one that you choose. So in this case, the second one, you can give it a class name. Another UL. Then you give this class name. So doing that, you are telling, you are really separating both of it from each other. So first you have second another dot another UL background color. See still below. So let's take a look what will happen on a page. Yeah, so because the I and D in the second, we gave it a class name of first UL and we gave this another UL. We target both of it separately, both of them separately, those elements. So first UL, we gave it a background of color of sea green and another still blue. So now I think you understand how we use the classes and the IDs. Now let's learn some of the selectors of CSS elements. Yeah. But so I want us to design. I want us to design a page like this. So this is everything here is raw CSS. So in CSS, we have the raw. I mean, we call it pure CSS. I mean, and then we have those frameworks that is easier to prototype websites and build websites that people have created for you. But before you dig deep into it, we have uh, this this page was created with raw CSS. So this is a table. It's better you understand it before you can dig deep into the frameworks. So types of frameworks that we have Bootstrap. These ones, it will be faster for you to build a website. But first, you have to understand this pure CSS before you get into these. These ones we will cover it. Then, what else? Foundation. Oh, Tailwind. That one is a CSS utility, but that's another animal by itself. Tailwind CSS. This is what I've been using right now. Very good one. We'll do a crash course on it. Then we also have what are the famous ones? These guys, CSS. The ZARP Foundation, yeah, Foundation 6, very nice. Mobile first, semantics. So all these ones, you get to use it depending on which team that you working with. In case you're working with a team that they all use foundation, you dig deep into foundation. So it's very all the CSS that we are doing here is what someone has taken and he has repackaged it, built it so things can be easier for you. But first you have to learn the pure CSS. So you look at this website, it's just pure. That was made from think when I was learning HTML. So I just wanted you guys to also use the same. So if you look at this, it's not a very perfect website, but it gives you what CSS can do. When it comes to the advanced stuff that I've done, you see the difference. So you put my, let me see. So from that look, soon you'll get all this look. What let me see this one. So you see, doing web design, there's a lot about to it. These are the UX and color guide on how you're doing wireframes and stuff before you can even build a website. So first, let's continue. So back to the code. We can target our elements with a class and IDs. Now let's target one thing. Let's target the table. We can give it a class of what? Let's call it table. So in CSS, it's a class. I think I've been using classes a lot. I could use IDs, but IDs are always, I mean, I've already told you guys. The ID, I usually want to use IDs as when I'm using JavaScript or PHP to target elements on my page. I reserve it for those tasks. But if I'm doing styling, I tend to use only the class. But you can use the ID, but it's best that you use classes. So you separate it. So anytime that you take your page, you know, oh, the classes are for the styling of the page, and the IDs are for manipulating the page. So in the second one, we chose table. Let's see table. So after that we done, now all these background colors that we're talking about, it's called properties. All these ones, we have a lot. So you have color. You can use your it means white. You can use a different color if it gives you the RGB colors. We can also use font size. So these properties, we have to go one by one. So let's say font size. I mean, font size is the size of the font. So font size, the weight is using the weight of it starting from 900 to 0. So what weight do you want to choose? Let's say you have bold, bolder, lighter, 100, 900. So the weight of the font, let's choose 900. Let's save it. Let's look at it. So let's look at it. So guys, this is what we are talking about here. The table. So we targeted everything inside the table, and we gave it a color of brown color. Then the weight, see the weight here. Yeah. So when it comes to, I think, let me take this. And put it here. Yeah. So the style sheet here, we targeted, we can even change the font family. So what's the font family? It's the type of, the type family. So type family fonts, we have sans serif and we have serif fonts. Serif fonts are normally the fonts that we use on the graphics, like in the printing. And the sans serif are those shapes ones that are used on the web. So let's try some different ones and see. So Arial Helvetica sans serif. Cambria, Cochin, Georgia Times New Roman. New Times New Roman. So area fonts. Let's choose that one. So why are we using these area? So after the area, you said Helvetica. So this is telling the web to use area. So you as a client looking at the web, in case you don't have area in your system, or go to the next and look for Helvetica. If Helvetica you don't have it, or goes to the next one at Helvetica. But this is where it's telling the web is these fonts are sans serif. It specifies a prioritized list of font family names or generic names. So if you don't have these area Helvetica, the system will go through all your fonts and choose the font that falls under the sans serif if it's available. Now let's try this font family again. So now we have two font family. It's just for you don't use both of it on a production on a working website like that, but it's just for demonstration. So you see these fonts, you tell the system to look for this, look for this, look for this, look for this, and look for this. If it doesn't find it, you look for a font called serif. So let's try and see the type of fonts they are. So look at it. If you look at, you see the fonts here, you see the style. Francis, 50 years. Look at the font style. These are serif fonts. If we, also you can cancel, you can comment out the code. It's just command / on Windows, control /. So when we comment out a code, it turns into this faded color. You haven't deleted the code, but you have commented it out. So the web browser won't pick it up. So in case you're doing something and you want to test out something, you comment out the code, but you don't delete it. So this one, I've commented it out. Now this one is taking, this one takes over. So let's try the sans serif. Now look at the font style. You see how it is, the shape, the curves. So these are sans serif fonts and against serif fonts. Now let's try font size. Uh, 50 pixels. Let's try that one and see. So you see the font size, I exaggerated it with 50 pixels. So on the web, we use pixels and ems and rems to do measurements on the web, the unit of the font. So the size. Now I'm using pixels. The ems and the rems I will show you later, but let's stick with the pixel for now, as you will understand. It will get complicated. So first on the web, people use 16 pixels as a starting point. So let's see, 16 pixels. See, it matches all these, the other fonts, but in case we give it a 36 pixels, look at the difference. You see, it's bigger now. So that's, we use font size to give a font size of a page of an element, a text or other elements. Now let's try font style. So as you know, we have normal, oblique, initial, and italics. So the two that you always go with will be italic or normal. So as a normal is default. When you don't specify the font style, it chooses the normal style of a font as a default. Now let's choose italics. We save it, look at it. You see, it gave you italic. Look at the style of the style. Yeah. Now, what else on the front side? So we have a lot to go with, but all the ones that you always will reach to are the ones that I've already covered. So you see all these, we have fonts, different font variations and stuff, but yeah. Now let's look at let's try text align. As text align, the name suggests, is where you play, as a text, how you justify a text on the web. So text align. So we have center and justify, left, right, start, initial, inherit, and onset. Center is, it will take all your element and put it in the center. Let's give this 20, and let's try it. Let's use it on an element because I think using it on a table Yeah. So we're targeting the hello. You see where it aligns itself in the center of the page. In default, is how you even write. You start from the left. In the English language, default is left. Text align left. But when you can choose to put the text in the middle of the page. So here we are targeting it at a hello. We put it in the center. So we can change it right. You see the text started from the right. Left is the default. What else? Justified. Yeah, we don't have any to justify. If the space it will fit, it will justify itself on the page. Now let's try text emphasis. So emphasis project is a general program for setting text and style and text of one column underground. We apply the same mark to each character of the text, except separator character like spaces and so. Oh yeah. There's nothing even to emphasize here. So the text decoration, in case we have a link and we want to take all these links out, we can use a text this decoration text transform. You can capitalize your page or lowercase. You can capitalize your elements, your text, lowercase it. None is default, none. Uppercase or initial. So let's try capitalize. So the capitalize is the first word will capitalize itself. So let's see. Let's give it a small letter. Save. Still, you saw it didn't change because we put capitalized. So in case we choose none, it's none. So capitalize, it capitalize the first letter of the text. Uppercase, it will change all the small letters to be uppercase. So you see it changed it to hello, uppercase. How about lowercase? Lowercase is when we have these as a capitalized word, it will change all to capitalize lowercase. See, yeah. We also have, let me see. Text, teaching you what you'll be using every day. The other ones you'll get to know. So now let's try We already did the colors, so let's try. Let me look at my references here. How about let's try a background image. So a background image on a web page, we use the URL to look for, where we want. The URL looks for where your file is saved. Let's see if we have an image here. Images, we have a dog, but it's not a big one. So guys, look at our web page, looking so beautiful. This is the mobile response. We haven't gotten into responsive yet, but look at the web page. So the background, now we put a background on the image. It's looking nice. Yeah, so thank you. So we can put a background color too. Okay, we already even have it. So it's there. So this is where this background image, we can also position it. Background, you see position, where you want to start it from. So we can start it from the left, the right, the top, and the bottom, the center. So we can center the image. So you see where, look at it right now. Back, the image wasn't centered. It was starting from the left to the right. But right now we chose the background position center. Look at where the dogs, now the dogs, both of them, the focus is on the dog in the center of the page. Now let's try another. Let's try left. Yeah, you see, it starts from the left. Now let's try right. Yeah, you see, it started from the right. This is how we use the position in images, using it as a background image. We also have cover, background size. So auto content cover. Let's try cover. So guys, you see, it resized the image to cover the entire screen. Look at it. So how beautiful it is. So the cover, you have to play with all these. You know, auto. Let's put auto. It's very fun with CSS. I'll give you the link for you to learn all these properties. We, for us to go through all these properties, it will take us like forever. But I'm teaching you the ones that you'll be using every day. We also have background. So let's put this as a cover. Let's see. We also have background repeat. So look at it. It said no repeat is the default. The repeat from left to right, it repeats the pixels. So in case your picture is small, automatically this page will repeat itself. It will take a pixel from one side and repeat it till it covers the page. So sometimes your image is small. You always see the images. I mean, your image will be repeating on the web page. Like you see the dog where the position you see the dog maybe in the XY axis also repeated. So here it's also telling you can do only from X. The X is horizontal, the Y is vertical. So let's try with repeat. Let's take this out and see the cover. Let's see, center. Guys, you see what I was saying? It's repeating. You see the dog is here on top here. When you come down, look at the dog again repeated. So the pixel is repeat. It repeats itself. Now let's try. Let's try the repeat X and see if it will repeat itself from. See, look at it. Because we gave it a repeat X, the page, the size of the page of the image is bigger. So it filled up all the entire space of the page, but wasn't able to repeat it vertically. I mean, we're doing only the X, so it left the vertically. It did not repeat it. So you can do Y. In case you do repeat without X or Y, that means both of it. Guys, so the Y, you see the Y axis is repeating itself from up, down, repeating the image. It ends here, but it starts again, then it starts again. We also have something called no repeat. I mean a property called no repeat. So you tell the browser not to not repeat the image. So we'll stick to one place. Guys, I think the time, let's continue next week. Next week, we will build a real, like a finished website. For right now, I'll give you a link. Just try it and look at different properties we use. So something like, let's try a last one. Parent, let me see. Position. This is interesting. So position, this property, we have relative. So where's the this 0, where it is, the yellow here, the position is relative to the page. So that means where it is, it takes from left to right, this position is fixed. It's relative to the page, to the web, to the space here. So default is already relative, but we can also use absolute. Let me see if we can see where, you see, look at what happened. Because we gave it an absolute, the hello just jumped from where it was. Now it's on top of some text here. So the best, so with absolute, we can position where we want it to be, but it will be, so let's say top. Let's put it at the top, 0 pixel. Let's give it the left. Let's go to 20 pixels. Guys, where is it? It's gone. Let's go up. Guys, look at it. From the left to the right is where it starts from 0. The top, we said top 0 pixel. So it started from there. Because we gave it a margin on the body, that's why it didn't start from here. But look at it. It's starting from the left. Yeah. Stop. So that's absolute. The absolute is position relative to its first position ancestor element. The definition of the absolute. So we can try a fix one, a fix to the browser window. So let's see where. Where is it now? Oh yeah. Guys, look, it's fixed. In case we scroll it, store the element is fixed on the window. No matter where we go, we will still see it. So that's the position of fixed. There's another one called sticky. Let me try it. I don't use it that much, but so the sticky should have stick on the. Let me see. Let me see. Precision sticky. Um, top PS 0. Something is drawing the sticky. Well, hold up. Let me look at my reference and see. I'm having a lot of trouble with a sticky element. We'll cover it next week then. Let me try this one. Yes. So static is it appears in the document flow how the order is. So it just appear how the order is. So there's nothing fancy about it. Do, do- So the major ones that we use are relative and absolute. So we can use the left. Let's say 400 pixels. Let's see. So we put it in the center. So this is good. You can use these to position elements on your page. How about float? Let's try float, then we'll end the day. Continue next week. So right now we're taking everything, all the inline styles out. The section. This is a second, okay. Guys, I think Facebook, our time is up. So download where I've linked the document. Download it, and next week we will build a complete website, and we go on from there. Today we have learned uh, CSS. Let's do some recap. We did some background colors. We learned about ID and the class selectors. And we also said we have parent and child. You can mix it up, put the child, the parent, so you can have a layers. We did background colors. We did padding. I'll show you the padding next time. Uh, then we did a background image. We did a background position, center, cover, a background size cover, center, left, right. We did the font size. We did colors as here we did text align, justify, center, left, right. We did text transform, lowercase, uppercase, position. We did absolute, relative, where to place items, elements. So we did sticky. Sticky, we had a lot of trouble. It wasn't working good. We did fix. Yeah, we did the UL, how to separate, to target same elements, how to target different elements with the same name, attributes and stuff. Here we did font weight, font family. Now we learn about sans serif and serif fonts, font size, font style, and section. So next week we'll build our first working web page with images and everything. So thank you, and the recorded version will be uploaded on our Facebook page. It will also be uploaded to the YouTube channel, and also the links to the file will be on Google Drive, so you can download it. Thank you. See you next week.